One reason why the nuclear family was so heavily promoted by the government was because they wanted to give men, as fathers, the ability to be PDF files without actually having to go out and like find a child. That is what my theory is. I literally just posted a video talking about how men being deadbeats is the natural order. And historically, children were always raised in a village with nothing but women. Men were never in the picture. I was raised by a village of women and no women. And even when my father was in my life until he wasn't allowed to be per a situation, then he was allowed to come back into my life per my mother's approval. And I did not welcome him back in my life with open arms because I enjoyed my matriarch so much. But I genuinely believe that one of the reasons for the nuclear family was to allow men to come in close proximity to children and for them to be able to secretly do things to their own children so that way it will be harder for them to get caught. Men don't have a vessel of life, okay? They do not have a life force. They have a Y chromosome, which has their genetic material very, very small, very, very condensed, as opposed to women having two X chromosomes. Men are always looking for some type of life force, and there is no stronger life force than you can have than a child. Okay, this is also why I feel as though why a lot of men are so pro-life. A lot of men are fucking pro-life because they want to have more options to touch on that demographic. I'm just keeping it real. That's honestly a big reason why I feel as though a lot of them are so pro-choice. They want more kids to choose from, honestly. Especially when you even statistically, only boys are impacted by not having a father in the home. Girls are not heavily impacted by not having a father in the home because of this shit. Because of how the fathers are looking at their daughters. And a lot of daughters can attest to the fact that once they reach a certain age, once they get into that pubescent, prepubescent, and you become a woman and now you have the ability to get pregnant, fathers don't look at their daughters the same anymore because they start realizing, oh shit, she actually is getting closer to becoming a woman as if she was going to be a woman that I would be out here dating personally in my life. And so what happens is that they have to like consciously think in their brain how to cut that shit off and try to reason with that thought that they are having where it's like, I've literally schmexualized my own daughter while she's been a child. And then now that she's actually like getting closer to being an adult, I can't be turned on to that point. Because then it's like you have to cut that shit off because then what are you going to do next? You're going to date your own daughter. You're going to sleep with your own daughter. These men, especially like if you have a husband or you have a male in your life and like he's afraid to change little girls' diapers, he starts freaking out. It's always the men that have an issue with changing diapers. They either fear changing diapers or they're like very, very like hyper vigilant when it comes to the privates of another child. Those most specifically are the ones that you got to look out for them. Okay? Because for a lot of them, the whole purpose of them even wanting a child in the first place was because they wanted a child readily available for their own pleasure.